Morale was low today. Hey, it happens sometimes when you travel, but you gotta deal with diabetes anyway. Hi, I'm Jeremy. Thanks for watching. The further south we move through the Baltic region, the more Russian influences we're starting to see. There's even some Cyrillic writing in our hotel room in Tartu, Estonia.
There's a €50 fine if you smoke in this room. That's English, fine. I don't know how related Estonian and Russian are, but they seem sort of related because this is the Estonian word for fine, I guess, trah. And this is the Russian word and it's straf. So straf. So I've noticed a lot of words like that seem to be kind of similar in Estonian and Russian.
Since we have no concrete plan on this trip, we just decided late last night to leave Tartu and to leave Estonia today. We're going to go down to this town on the border of Estonia and Latvia called Valga. The day began well diabetically. I was 89 when I woke up. Me and Masayo finished the cinnamon cereal in the room, while I admired all the cool languages in the room's Bible. We walked through the chilly streets of Tartu to the bus station, and fortunately we were able to buy last-minute tickets down to Valga. Our minibus showed up after a while. I got on and asked the driver where seats 1 and 2 were. He just looked at me and kind of gruffly scowled and motioned for me to sit anywhere. Hey, I'm just trying to follow the rules. We got assigned seats. On the bus, I was quite annoyed to find out that I was up to 234. I sighed and took a couple of units of Humalog. The ride from Tartu down to Valga was pretty bleak. It was overcast and everything was just kind of gray and lifeless. The sky, the road, even the bare trees. The asphalt was rough and everything just seemed merely utilitarian, which was a big change after the magnificence of Tallinn and the self-possessed pride of Tartu. Sometimes people would get off the bus and walk towards these big drab apartment blocks. It makes you wonder, what is life like in these places? What do these people do all day? Well, we reached Valga, the very edge of Estonia, and we had to walk the last little bit to the border. The residential streets of Valga were kind of gray and quiet. There were hardly any people around, although Estonia did seem to try to give us one little last burst of color before we left. There is a really cool feeling of anticipation when you're getting closer to a border, especially when you're walking to it. This one was a little bit anticlimactic because thanks to the Schengen agreement, there's no more border control between Estonia and Latvia, so while there's still a big passport control thing in the middle of the road, it's not staffed any longer. But it really didn't matter. It was a lot of fun to be entering a new country on foot. So Estonia gave way to Latvia, and the name of the town, Valga, to the Latvian version, Valka. This town began in the 13th century. The German name was Valk, W-A-L-K. It was part of the Livonian Confederation, which was comprised of modern-day Estonia and Latvia. Over the centuries, it passed through various hands: Polish, Swedish, and finally Russian. In 1917, the Latvians decided to declare independence from Russia right here in this town, and the Latvian flag was first flown here. In 1920, Valka was split between Latvia and Estonia, which is why the two sides have different names now. After World War II, Latvia became part of the USSR and gained its independence in 1991. The current population of Valka is about 5,800 people. Our first look at Latvia did betray a kind of Soviet influence. Big, square, humorless buildings. Finally, after walking for a couple of kilometers, we got to our hotel, which was closed. I mean, completely closed. Shut down and dark. Finally, I noticed a button by the front door and I pressed it and a woman's voice came on. I said in English, "Hello?" And she said, "Oh, you want to check in, yes?" So about 5 minutes later, she came holding a baby. She was friendly but not real warm, and she let us in. And then she took off and said she'd see us tomorrow. And there we were in our room. It was pleasant enough. It had some quirky touches, like the toilet was just sitting on the bathroom floor, not attached to it. Welcome to Latvia! Not only is Valka a quiet, gray town, but today is Sunday. And there was a very intense feeling of remoteness just outside the window. No cars were going by, very few people were walking. It seemed like we were far, far away from anything else. We were not the only people in this hotel, by the way. Next door, there seemed to be two guys who spent all their time watching television and then going outside to smoke every hour. I really wondered what their lives were like. How long had they been staying here? What are they doing? How do they pay for it? What's happening? I never did meet them or talk to them. They were just like ghost neighbors the whole time. My first blood sugar check of Latvia was 217. We went out looking for lunch and all we could find was a small supermarket called Maxima. We bought some pizza bread and some orange cookies and some chocolate milk. Not an inspiring meal. And then while Masayo rested, I went and walked around Valka a little bit. Much like Tartu in Estonia, there is a creative and unique spirit in Valka. Artful sculptures are here and there, and there's also some grand touches to some of the buildings. There's also at least one grunge music fan, and maybe a fan of my university, University of Georgia. Just for fun, I wandered back into the Estonian side. Where there used to be a human guard, there's now a cat guard. He didn't stop me, but he did keep an eye on me. So, was the Estonian side nicer? Not really. It's pretty ugly here. Ugly in a kind of fascinating way. The pride of the Latvian side is this church. It was first mentioned in historical texts in 1477. It's the Valka Lugaji Church, but for fun, I want to try to pronounce the Latvian name. Valkas Lugaju Buranju Barajica. Valkas Lugaju Luteranju Baznica. I give up. Latvian is a Baltic Slavic language, is completely unrelated to Estonian, so it's a whole new thing to try to pronounce. At dinner time, we wanted something hot to eat, and there was nothing on the Latvian side, so Masayo and I walked back to the Estonian side, where there's a hamburger place called Hesburger. The menu was all in Estonian, but yesterday, Masayo bought a book in the Estonian museum in Tartu called Suur Kindaraamat. The lady who sold it to us translated the title into English as the Big Mitten Book. So I figured that suur means big in Estonian. So on the menu, I figured that this suur means the large version of the meal. Genius. Anyway, I got the mega burger and fries with a Coke Zero. My blood sugar was 263, which was extremely annoying, but I had to remain stoic. Back in the room, I streamed an NFL game on Game Pass. My team, the Falcons, were winning the entire game and then lost it in the last 4 seconds. It was a perfect ending to a day where things just didn't seem to go that well for us. The hell with it, we'll try again tomorrow. Good thing and a bad thing about today. The good thing is that we're in a new country and we've gotten a very atmospheric introduction to it. The bad thing is this kind of bleak funk that's taken hold of me and Masayo for different reasons. Diabetes thoughts for today. My average blood sugar today was 201. This junk food is not helping. But I may have had a breakthrough today. On the minibus, as we were waiting to leave Tartu, I took a Humalog shot through my Bluffworks pants, and I noticed when I took the needle out that there were some drops of insulin around. So maybe the entire dose isn't getting into my bloodstream like I think. Maybe I need to be more careful with my shot. Maybe make sure that all the insulin is in before withdrawing the needle. That could definitely have a big impact on things. Now tomorrow we have no plan whatsoever. We might stay in Valka one more night, just to see what the town is like on a Monday, maybe there's more happening. Or we might try to find a bus deeper into Latvia. But where? We'll decide tomorrow morning, and I hope blood sugars are better tomorrow. And we can close the book on Estonia. I checked my blood sugar 27 times, and the average of all of them was 179, an improvement over the Åland Islands. Now, so far in Latvia, things are not so good, so I've got my work cut out for me if I want to make this country an improvement over Estonia. But hey, might as well be optimistic about it. It could happen!